My silence is a luxury, so here, let me break it. Take a minute and tell you about my privilege. I was privileged to grow up without a mom, because when she was 12, she was privileged to watch her mom drown. PTSD's gift to me was fetal alcohol syndrome, followed by leave 'em without even calling syndrome. So I could blame water for my motherlessness, forsake the ocean, never ride a wave, berate rivers, never surrender my gaze to a waterfall. Never run through a sprinkler, hate my kitchen faucets, become a spigot bigot, and never drink from it again. But when I shower every morning, there isn't a single drop of repression in it. Maybe that's the lesson in it. I spent years of my life on the playground shooting baskets, and never once worried about who's shooting back. No one ever asked me what size my Jordans were while clenching their fists. No one ever rolled through my neighborhood to apprehend me and frisk. No one ever threatened me with a lynching. I never had to risk my life to get groceries. My baggage always made it through customs. In every chapter of my life story, my sentences always matched my crimes. I walk into Barnes & Noble, and I feel like falling to the floor and crying, because despite trying, I could never read about every iniquity or abolish every evil that has ever happened to every people in world history. You could fill a stadium of pages with the heinousness done by one group of humans to another, and we haven't even been here that long. Aliens are like, what the heck is going on that pale blue dot over in Sector 4? Why can't they respect each other more? Genocide, caste systems, slavery, Holocaust, the loftiness of haughtiness, all because someone wants to feel superior. If someone else is at the bottom of the food chain, we'll always have something to eat. But these are empty calories. Fraudulent food fraught with saturated fats, rotting in the bowels of self-esteem and fabricated facts. No matter how it might be disguised, racism is just pride, personified. And we keep buying into the lie, looking for the shortest path between poverty and prospering as the Jim Crow flies. America hasn't been so beautiful for everyone under these spacious skies. Oh, God shed His grace, but we didn't do so good with the brotherhood. Freedom rang, and we dismissed the call. Too busy crushing candy to deal with the real clash of clans. Just going with the status quo, going with the status quo, going with the status quo that we know like the back of our hands. No one buys a box of crayons labeled 64 same colors, but we keep trying to paint the sky with homogenized hues and compromised views. I've never even seen a plantation, but I did see Boys in the Hood, and I still have 100 miles of NWA cassette tape running through the gears of my consciousness. Looking back, I can sort of see how murder, aggression, and misogyny could further nurture impressions and ideologies, a confession. I wanted to be black for the coolness. I didn't know much about the past and the cruelness. I did hate Michael Jordan, but not because of his skin color, but because of his rival jersey color, and because he could fly, and I would never experience the air up there. Like that free throw line was a launch pad into heaven. I loved Isaiah Thomas because he was on my team. I cried when they wouldn't let me be number 11. But maybe there's more to black people than gangster rap and basketball. Maybe there's more to white people than dogs and yoga. Maybe there's no such thing as black people or white people, and this is all a ruse. And maybe if we quit sitting at separate lunch tables, we could share some food for thoughts and a soda. If these skeletons stay in a closet, they will always haunt us. No governmental policy can fix ignorance. This is on us. You can't legislate love or enforce empathy, and enmity is definitely not the remedy. Making America hate is not the way to make America great. I fear for America's fate if we can't escape the penitentiaries of our vain imaginations. Decades and centuries of decadence and censoring inequity and injustice. This is now. We stand here face to face, and either it just is or it's just us. This is how we coexist. One open hand of humility will transcend the futility of 1,000 closed fists. This is vowing to dispose of these myths and close these rifts. Instead of seeking privilege, the best we can be is a privilege to someone that knows hatred. The most perfect person who ever lived was the least privileged and the most hated. And he only wanted to be a privilege to those that hated. So I guess that's how we know we've made it. It turns out this whole thing is complicated. There are no silver bullets, but let me be a silver lining. I can't walk in your shoes, but I can wash your feet. And I think we can all agree that we've stepped in some awful things. These crooked ways will be made straight. These valleys will be exalted. These mountains will fall and we will all see the glory together. We will tell our stories together and finally be willing to listen. We will fix this broken algebra. Remember that we were created equal, and we will shine as radiating people, finally willing to glisten from sea to shining sea, and no longer be drowning in it. So if you see me, let me hug you and tell me what I can do. Because I can't change the world, but I can change myself. And this embrace can't erase history's pillages, but this village, it starts with two. And maybe we can spark some truth. Maybe some hearts can start to move. Help me on my way to transformation. Walk with me as I make strides and penances, so that I can honestly proclaim emancipation from my pride and prejudice.